I'm Aravinda. I'm the CEO of KAL. KAL is an ATM software company. We have been doing software for ATMs globally for many years, almost 30 years now. And our software runs in about 100 countries worldwide on ATMs, right? So some similarities and some differences, right? So ATM is about cash dispense, obviously. POS is about payment. There are some underlying differences, quite important, about how the fees work and so on. But from a customer point of view, there isn't that much of a difference, right? Because in the ATM case, you get cash in your hand. In the POS case, you pay for something. So from that perspective, very similar. But where the differences are is about the sophistication of ATM versus POS. So ATMs are much more sophisticated than most POS devices. POS devices basically just pay for something, and quite often you pay and you go away, right? You don't do anything more than that. In an ATM, you engage more with that ATM machine. You can check your balance. You can pay a bill. It's a much more sophisticated engagement with the customer. In some countries, ATMs could do 100 different transactions, pretty much anything that you can do in a bank branch. In Europe and the US, it's a lot less. It's maybe 6 different things. While on a POS device, you just basically pay and you dash, right? And one of the things that we are trying to do is to change that so that there's more engagement at the POS device. So Smart POS is the right name, I think, for what we're trying to do. You can compare, for example, with a phone. Many years ago, a phone could just make phone calls, right? Today, a smartphone is something that almost doesn't do phone calls. You do everything else but do phone calls. Okay, you might do phone calls as well, right? So, so to an extent, Smart POS is the same kind of idea in that it could be much more sophisticated, much better integrated. And the integration, I think, is the key, okay? Because normally with the POS device, all that is happening is that you pay. It is integrated, if you like, to the payment system, but that's it. Nothing much else. You can't order with it. You can't do loyalty points with it. You can't, right? And all those other things that you want to do is what makes Smart POS different than POS. POS is just about a payment, right? So, I mean, even today, when I go to a shop and I pay, there's absolutely no engagement where I live, for example. And you pay and you go, and you can't do anything else with that POS device. So, KAL, obviously, firstly, we have lots of technology. We run that technology on ATMs. That technology now runs on POS devices as well. When we talk about POS devices, we target Android POS devices. So we don't propose at this moment, we don't have plans to do anything other than Android support. And one of the reasons Android is very important is that to us, it's similar to an ATM in that ATMs all run on Windows. POS devices now run on Android. And the advantage is that you can do complicated, sophisticated integrations and complicated, sophisticated user interfaces. You can even do things like video conferencing calls on a POS device. Now, whether somebody really wants to do that is not clear. But, let's say, for example, that you had a problem while paying for something and you then wanted to get support and help, then you could do that with our technology. You could do a remote connection to a remotely assisted call center and say, oh, I just made a payment, it didn't work. Where am I now? Did the payment go through or not? All that kind of thing, right? And that gives confidence to the customer that he or she is being looked after. When we talk about what is being missed, right, we have a phrase which is pay and dash. Today, that's what we do. We pay and dash. In other words, we pay and we're gone. And the retailer, the bank, the acquiring bank, everybody missed a chance to engage with that customer. Now, it's true, of course, to say that sometimes you're in a hurry. You don't have time. You want to pay and you do want to go. Okay, and that's fine. That's fine. Nobody's stopping that. Nobody's saying, well, we're going to ask you 17 questions before you can pay. We're not saying that. On the other hand, imagine that you went somewhere, you bought a coffee, and you sit down and you're by yourself and you've got 5 minutes before the train goes, right? You've got the 5 minutes to do something, which might be to read a book, right? Fine. Or you might also engage with the POS device. You might say things like, well, I come here quite often. Can I have a loyalty card? I would prefer that my coffee is not so expensive. What discounts do you have? What other types of coffee do you have? Oh, and by the way, it's not just coffee that I like other stuff, right? You might want to engage with that system, right? So that is what is being missed today. There is no engagement at POS. You tap your card and you're gone. One of the things that's happening with POS is that these nicer new Android-based POS devices are becoming available. And they're also very, very low cost. They're in volume well less than 200 USD. So we are not talking about expensive devices. And these devices are capable of doing everything your phone can do, everything your PC can do. But today they're, like I was saying, not really being utilized, right? In the sense that even those capable smart POS type devices are still today used to tap and dash, right? You pay and you go, when there could be this engagement. So I think the big change is going to be POS devices much better integrated with the backend systems of the retailer, with the backend systems of the bank, with the backend systems of whoever is providing the service, and much better opportunity to engage. KAL's primary focus is ATM software, but now we're also doing smart POS software. What we have done is to make our ATM software run both on Android as well as on Windows, because it's the same underlying technology. It has the same sophistication as our ATM software. It is designed to be able to integrate very well with the bank's multiple systems. Sometimes we integrate with 30, 40 different systems in a single project. In a retail environment, that's exactly what we are very good at doing. And if you integrate POS devices in that sophisticated way, where you have access to inventory, you have access to ordering, you have access to loyalty, you have access to future orders, all of that, right? You can have very sophisticated POS devices. Plus, one of the things that we mentioned earlier, why not connection to call center, so that if you're doing something particularly complicated, then you could have human support, human help, all those kinds of things.